And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, to a brand new tournament here. Welcome to Maestros of the game. Welcome to a big event that's going to be happening over in France. A big event that's going to be occurring here. I'm, of course, ShoWTimE VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to a brand new event. Again, crowdfunded by the people, of course. Shout out to Comeback TV for organizing the main event and for bringing everyone together. Now, this is not the offline portion yet. There is going to be an offline playoffs and offline finals, but this is still the online portion. We are jumping into the preliminary stage. As you can see here, we still have plenty of matches coming up ahead of us here. Up first, ShoWTimE versus Cham to determine who will make it into the main event, who will make it further into the tournament. Let's go. Let us go as we are jumping into our PvZ. Game 1 is going to be on Tokamak. Bearing in mind as well, these are going to be best of 5s. We have 4 best of 5s tonight. We have ShoWTimE versus Cham, Gumiho versus Ryung, Zan versus Spirit, and Rogue versus Mana. Oh boy, let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the top right hand corner here, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself. From the land of Germany, representing Sentinels, it is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player representing Xeritus Esports from the land of Mexico. It is Cham. El Chamaco himself. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Will it go the way of Cham? Will it go the way of ShoWTimE? We are here to find out. And we even have some lovely player cams. Will this break? Beautiful. Unfortunately, I don't have audio sources during those cam scenes, but yes, we do have our 2 players here. You can see ShoWTimE in the red, we can see Cham in the blue. As we settle into a standard opener, so far we have Cham going hatch gas pool, standard opener out of our Zerg player. Likewise, ShoWTimE going for a standard opener as well. We're not really expecting anything too crazy when it comes to our initial builds, but my eyes are mainly going to be on Cham. Cham, he typically is hyper aggressive in this matchup. We have seen him be very, very assertive on 3 bases, so we expect aggression out of Cham. We expect a more defensive setup out of ShoWTimE. Now, I'm turning into a broken record here. We're talking about this all the time. Welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the largest maps in the map pool. It is the most defensive map in the map pool. We have seen players succeed with all-ins, but the map is working against you when you're all-inning, as the 3rd and 4th base are very secure here on Tokamak. We do have very narrow entrances into said bases. Likewise, they're closer together, closer to the natural, easier to rotate between, and there's no area in between the bases either. So, again, it is a lot more defendable. I do favor ShoWTimE coming into Tokamak, assuming that Cham does want to try to break him and does want to try to all-in him at some point. It's going to be difficult to do so on this map. We'll see. We shall see. The production is thinking, yeah, shout out to Comeback TV, of course. They did provide us with the intro to the event. They got the countdown screen. They have their the player cam set up as well. And of course, remember, this is going to be a multi-week event. We are still in the online portion. Eventually, players will be invited and flown over to France for the offline portion. That'll be later on, of course, in the month. It'll be in a couple of weeks. For the time being, we do have our openers here. 3rd base now being taken from the side of Cham. Link speed is on the way, and Cham, he pulls out. He does pull out of gas. He doesn't stay in. He doesn't invest towards an early lair or early Ro24 or early tech of any kind. So standard opener so far. No crazy tech. Adept does shade in, and so far Cham does react in time, does pull away. Nice reactions here to Cham. As we have 2 Adepts shading in towards the natural. Once again, Cham is keeping up. Does keep up and does catch. Ooh, almost catches the Adept, barely not. Behind this, ShoWTimE did open up Stargate into Oracle, 2nd gateway into a 3rd expansion. Everything so far looking normal for ShoWTimE. Everything's looking as it should. There we go. As once again, does thread in the shade. 3 adepts, they can one-shot workers, of course. The Oracle's coming in as well. So far, Cham hasn't taken any major losses. Is going to be denied some of his production. Larva is going down. But again, nothing major yet. Oracle's into the main, and the Queens, they will deflect. So far, so good. Queens do deflect. Once again, adepts, I mean, they're shelling away at the main base at the third, and the third is taking a lot of hits, but nothing too major yet. So far, Cham, he's maintaining himself. The spores are a little bit late. Drones are finally going to be going down. There we go. 1, 2, almost 3. 2 drones do fall. The Oracle takes a lot of damage. ShoWTimE has to back off, but throughout all of this, ShoWTimE does expand. Third base is getting up. At Cham, he's moving out to attempt to delay or deny the expansion, but there now should be multiple Oracles, and the adepts did make it back home. Lings are scouted. Now we have 5 adepts, and Cham is zoned away. So the third base is safe for ShoWTimE. Cham has to retreat. Behind this, gases are being taken. Cham is now working on his lair. No early Evo Chamber or Ro24. Okay, interesting. You have my attention. This tells me that Cham, he might be thinking to go straight into a Spire, straight into a Hydra Den. A little bit surprised to see neither Evo Chamber or Ro24. Now we have a delayed Evo Chamber here out of Cham. Interesting. Now, because this chamber is a little bit later, there's a higher chance it's going to be +1 range instead of melee. Typically, melee would be researched before the lair, as we would prioritize it a little bit faster. So, interesting kind of tech structure here for Cham. Sorry, so in a way, double Oracle, they can one-shot workers. They head into the bases, and they head in towards the main. Go for the Queen! Yeah, the Queen is going to go down. A nice pick up. Gets a Queen, gets a couple of drones. Did I say a couple? That's going to be 4 drones going down before ShoWTimE does get out. Meanwhile, we spoke about it. +1 range is on the way. As you mentioned, the Evo Chamber was late, so it did scream more so +1 range than melee. So we're heading straight into Hydras. Skipping Roaches. So no Roaches whatsoever. It's going to be Ling Hydra, but a very heavy emphasis on Hydra production. We may cut workers at 66, taking the gases and mass up with mass Hydra, or we could take up into lurkers. Baneliness. Ooh, Baneliness, no infestation bit. We're leaning more towards Ling main Hydra. What I mean by that is we're going to be committing and staying on lair tech that much longer. Is what it seems to be the case. ShoWTimE moving in. Let's move in. Ling's there to engage. Ooh, they made out one of the stasis. They made out both, actually. Made out both. Nice control here from Cham. Baits out the stasis traps. Gets almost on the adepts. Cham, he should have enough. Ooh, once again, does bait out of stasis. And again. Chammy's playing well. Chammy's holding his own. You can see here, we spoke about him cutting workers at 66. There it is, 66 workers here for Cham. That is 3 base saturation. He has the 4th base for now, just for Larva, and he is massing up Lings and Hydras. Does make an extra wave of drones, though, so he's droning up a little bit further. Squeezing out a couple of extra workers. Getting up to 74 drones. Okay. Down those rocks. Getting another expansion, not just for Larva. They're going for the gold. Okay, going for the Hydra base. As we're taking another expansion, there's a higher chance here that we're going to be going and taking up further into Hive. We're still waiting for the infestation bit. Cham is setting up. At the same time, ShoWTimE, you can see he's getting ready for the push. We have a cannon, shield battery, stasis traps, 3 and now 4 bases, more stack defense. We mentioned this earlier at the start of the game. Tokamak is known for its defensive prowess, known for its defensive features, and you can see ShoWTimE fully walling up. He's fully walling up, and he's waiting for Cham to come to him. Personally, I like the idea more of a player being greedy, the Zerg player I mean, being greedy, getting more bases, getting map control, and then taking up into Hive. But here, Cham, no Hive, no infestation bit, Cham is maxing out. He's maxing out with purely Ling main Hydra, so he is going for a 3 base all-in, or for 3.5 base all-in. He's not joining up to 80, he's not taking extra gases, he's not taking up, he is very committed on lair tech. So this push here from Cham has to get damage done, otherwise he will fall behind. He will fall behind, we gotta go. Does move in, Storm is ready. And the first Storm does land. There's the first Storm, likewise not the, oh god, the Banelings! Yeah, Banelings get caught out. Brutal Storm. We have a couple of Banelings trickling in, but lastly, they're gonna be dealt with. Oh no! High Templar, they're getting good out. 2 High Templar go down. Okay, nice connections here from Cham. That should not have happened. Cham does get 2 High Templar, but there's still plenty of storms. Oh god. The storms are brutal. And ShoWTimE is holding. He is holding on. Cham, he's backing off, and as you can see, still no tech. Still no pits, still no lurker den. Still no gases. So Cham is going to do that again. And that's the goal. That's the win condition. Cham is just going to rebuild, remax, and just keep on just hammering away at the wall that is ShoWTimE. Supply is in favor of Cham, but hey, Storm makes up for that. Depending on whether or not it connects. Oh, as we have morphed in a lot of Archons. Out of position. And Cham does rotate to the right hand side. We don't want to waste Storms here on the Ling Bane. 1 Templar goes down to 2 Templar left. Yeah, 2 Templar remaining. Storm mainly zones. Does graze the army. Better Storm here on the Hydras. Much better. Yeah, Storms are connecting. And ShoWTimE holds. Oh no! Ooh, the Templar barely survives. Barely does survive. And again, you can see the soup does lie. Cham, he was up, what, 60, 70 supply, but still cannot break through. Again, we spoke about it before, but that is the defensive features of the map itself, how choked up it is, how easy it is to rotate from your third base to your fourth and back and forth. So ShoWTimE, he can be down 60 supply, but he can still defend. And remember, +3. +3 is on the way. What does Cham have? He has 1-1. He has 1-1 upgrades. Now finally, gases are on the way. This is the first sign that Cham is determining, I can't kill you. He's saying here he cannot do it. He cannot kill ShoWTimE, not anymore. This is a late realization, so gases are being taken. You can see Cham, now he's joining up a little bit further. Now he finally joins up to 80. Now he can afford Hive Tech. Now he can afford Lurkers. But it's, again, it's a late realization for Cham. He is taking more gases, and there it is, as if on cue, Lurker Den and Infestation Pit. Again, like the sign of this to come were the extra gases. So extra gases, that means now we can afford all this tech, but Cham has a ways to go to catch up. So with this, ShoWTimE is getting further ahead. He's getting further ahead. There's going to be a window in time where ShoWTimE can break out with this army, with Archons, Immortals, Mass High Templar, with Storm, before Cham has Hive Tech. So there is a window. Oh, he's not going for it. Never mind, Skytos. Skytos is on the way. You could also argue that this is late. There's definitely a moment here where ShoWTimE was defending where it seemed a little bit more confirmed that he would defend, where he could have decided to take up then and there. You know, maybe 1 minute ago, maybe a minute and a half ago. So this could have been a little bit earlier regardless. You know, we're taking up into Skytos and we're getting into a longer, later game. I still do prefer ShoWTimE's position. ShoWTimE is still looking much better here. But ShoWTimE, he does miss his army rotation. He does miss it. Cham moving in. Does get into the mineral line. ShoWTimE trying to respond. Ooh, mineral line's going to be going down. Nice connections there by Cham. And ShoWTimE, he was late. ShoWTimE out of position. And the Lynx is still going ham, by the way. That's going to be 12 probes falling. Probes go down. ShoWTimE, though, he does counterattack. And we spoke about it. Lurkers aren't ready. The Lurkers are not ready yet. So ShoWTimE, he can kill this base. Honestly, he can keep going. Like, he could keep pushing. He doesn't know that there are 0 Lurkers ready. There we go. 7 Lurkers now on the way. Zell's at the left-hand side. ShoWTimE, we can be a little bit more assertive here and go for another expansion. But ShoWTimE, he plays it safe. He plays it safe. He gets 1 base, backs off. Cham, he's again slowly catching up. Lurkers are out. Skytos is a ways away. That's the first Tempest. So now, I wouldn't say momentum is swinging from one player to the other, but Cham now has the opportunity to maybe get some damage done before Skytos. Ling Bane's rolling in. Cham does hit the base on the right-hand side, going for the third, and ShoWTimE's going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade. Ooh, mineral line's going to go down. Probes are falling left and right. At the same time, ShoWTimE, he's got to do more than just this. We got to keep going. Keep going, back. Don't stop. Commit to the base trade. Remember, ShoWTimE, he can always recall. He can always recall. Ling Bane rolling in. Yeah, Lings are getting to the natural. More probes are going to be going down. And ShoWTimE, he does have detection. Does have the observers. Does have the oracles. But ShoWTimE, he will soon have to recall as he's losing too many bases. Likewise, he's wasting DPS. You can see here a lot of units are not attacking. Yeah, ShoWTimE fumbling the ball a little bit here. And where's that recall? His main base is under fire. Gotta make that decision soon. As everything's flashing red. Everything's flashing red. No, he doesn't. He has no energy. No shot. He can't recall. He has no energy in the main. Oh no. And Cham, he can do this. He can do this. He can win. He can win via elimination. All the buildings are going down. Cham, he still has more bases. He still has more hatcheries. He has drones being sent out. ShoWTimE, he fumbled the base trade. He had no recall. GG gets called, and Cham, he will take the game. He will take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played at Cham. He will claim the series. Oh, sorry, he will take the first game. Will take a lead in the series. GG. Again, ShoWTimE, he had no recall into the main base. He had no energy in the main. It looks like maybe he was chronoing some buildings, spending his energy elsewhere. It would have been a chrono, which means he could not recall back home. GG. GG, well played. He could not return, and with that, Cham, he wins by elimination. Does win by elimination, does destroy all the buildings. I mean, would have, and with that, Cham takes the lead, and we'll see if ShoWTimE can recover. Now, my big concern here is that this was meant to be ShoWTimE's map. We were talking quite a lot about Tokamak, right? And we saw it come into play where ShoWTimE, he was showing off, you know, why he's called them out, right? He was the wall, and he defended very well on 4 bases, and Cham, he was having a really hard time and he was falling behind. The base trade was maybe the best chance for Cham. That was maybe one of the only ways for Cham to win outside of having to go toe-to-toe with ShoWTimE in the late game against SkyToss. So that was like the best opportunity for Cham, and he was able to take it. He was able to take it, able to catch ShoWTimE with his pants down. And I will say that moving forward from here, now that we're done with Tokamak, these other maps are going to be more difficult for ShoWTimE to defend on. Like Tokamak is probably the best map to be defensive on. After that, there are still some decent defensive maps out there, but less so compared to Tokamak. So Cham, he has more opportunities to actually end the game early. So let's go. Let us go. After game 1, I have to lean a little bit more towards Cham, papi. Yeah. But let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner here of Persephone, we have the Mexican Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg leading the series 1-0. It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, from the land of Germany, representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. Here we go, and welcome on to Persephone. Persephone is more accessible. Now, something that Tokamak has that's really unique, that is not really applicable to the other maps, is this area in between the bases. If you remember, on Tokamak, this area here is walled off with rocks, right? There are rocks here in between the 3rd and 4th base, and there are entrances into the 3rd and 4th instead, which makes it easier to rotate back and forth, and it makes this center area secure. On most maps though, this area is open. So here you can see that Cham has options. He can push in towards the 3rd base, the 4th base, or he can go in between them and go back and forth as well. So it's going to be more difficult here to be defensive. I'm not saying it's impossible, but now there's a little bit more maneuverability available here to Cham. But what I will say, specifically here on Persephone, is that there are a lot of points of elevation here towards the left-hand side. It can be difficult to push into this area specifically if ShoWTimE is able to keep up with the army movements and get in position in time. If we can get in position, if ShoWTimE can secure himself on 4 bases, if he can survive the early to mid game and get up to 4 bases here, it is very common, specifically on Persephone, to cut the map in half. It is very easy to cut the map in half. The reason for this is because there is just so much space, so much area here in between from one side of the map to the other. Likewise, because of that, it's harder to kind of take your opponent's bases. It's harder to really gain map control and gain that base advantage over your opponent as well. And we often do see like hour-long games on Persephone if we can survive like the early to mid game. So this is more of a map of extremes. Either the game ends early or it ends very, very late. We'll get there. The only base that's really contested on a regular basis is the gold. The gold base is maybe the most accessible base from both sides. That's typically where a lot of fights do occur as the game goes on. It's who can get the gold. But we'll get there. Likewise, we also have the healing pad. We have all these speed zones. For the most part, we're expecting ShoWTimE to go for the same style, to go for a standard opener into a third base, into like a robust, you know, army with Storm. We'll try to point out if we do see a deviation out of ShoWTimE. We'll see if he does mix things up. There we go. Actually, now our players are just going to be droning, saturating. Stargate opener, the Oracle's on the way, so again, everything's looking normal from ShoWTimE. From here, ShoWTimE should be expanding and claiming his third. We'll soon be doing so. As ShoWTimE does get into the main, not bad. He gets one, he gets two. Get 1, 2, 3 drone kills, very nice. ShoWTimE does get 3 drones in the main. Opening up Oracle into Phoenix. ShoWTimE, he's one of the few players that does regularly go Phoenixes as a follow-up. One of the few. The purpose of the Phoenix, as ShoWTimE is going to be expanding here and should be able to. Yeah, the Oracle's in position. But the purpose is to hunt down these Overlords, to deny vision, deny scouting. Not just that, but also can even help assist the Oracle in aggression by lifting up Queens. Right, you can lift up Queens, you can CC. Those Overlords being hunted down. Lings are deflected. And ShoWTimE does secure his third. Cham back at home, he's still droning. Still just droning up. If you recall, last game we saw a lair first build out of Cham, which kind of led into the more Ling Hydra heavy style. Oh, hello ShoWTimE. Okay. Pilot Council and Forge. Because of the earlier Forge, are we willing to go into Charge instead? We're still leaning towards +1 and Blink, but +1 and Charge is also on the table. That's another Overlord being hunted down. No major connection with the stasis trap. It's going to be a second Overlord falling. Steps to do slip in. Shading into the natural. This time there is going to be an early Roach Warren though, and ShoWTimE does scout. It does scout, does confirm, does get eyes on the Roach Warren. So Cham is not going for the same build. It's going to be 6 more drone kills. Nicely done here with the Oracles. We have +1 and Blink on the way. Not Charge. ShoWTimE trying to find another Overlord. Does on another Overlord, and it looks like he barely will. Oh, barely will get it. The third Overlord goes down. Cham gets supply blocked. And we have Roach speed on the way, +1 range on the way. We are committing quite heavily here, or we're going to be committing into Roaches. And Cham, he may go into a Roach all-in. If we see Overlord speed on the way, then that's indicative of a German taxi. We'll see. So let's zoom it in. And it's so crucial here that ShoWTimE confirms the drone count. Right now we're on full, more or less 3-base saturation. We're missing gases here at the third base. That's a tell. We have 2 expansions on the way, but that might just be for Larva. Cham, he may have no intention to drone up. And you can see ShoWTimE is getting ready. We have cannons on the way, shield batteries on the way. 4th base is done. Do you see what I see? No drones. He is transferring workers, yes, but he is not droning up. Yeah, you can see here he intentionally does transfer from his natural, transfers from the main base as well. He's making it look like he's droning, but he isn't. So he's going all in. So this is going to be a massive all in here from Cham. So 3 base all in. You can see he's hiding his roaches, and now it's go time. Yeah, it is going to be go time. Cham is going to rally everything across the map. This is going to hit with +1. ShoWTimE pushing in. This I'm not so sure about. Cham, nice bait. Baits out the stasis. Ooh, massive connection. And ShoWTimE can take the fight. He can take it. Roaches are going down. Brutal connection with the stasis trap. And ShoWTimE can just keep on going. He can just keep on pushing. Out trading Cham. ShoWTimE getting a 4th expansion. Stasis is running out. Let's do another trap. Ooh. It does get baited. Doesn't get triggered early. But again, that was a very nice fight. So looking at the trades here, that was 8 Stalkers for 19 Roaches. Insane trade. And remember, Cham, he has no drones. He has not been droning for quite some time now. Remember, the workers here at the 4th base was more of a deception more than anything. Cham is all in. Getting on top of the Stalkers. The Lings are putting in a lot of work. Zerglings are popping off. Nice flank. ShoWTimE is getting caught out. And ShoWTimE is losing too much. Losing far too much here. Back at home, what do we have to defend? Where are the High Templar? Where are the Storms? Okay, he's got 3. He's got 3 Templar ready. Cham, he rotates over towards the right-hand side. Towards the 4th. Goes in between the bases. Comes in from both angles. Storms, they do graze the Roaches. We get some decent Storms, but again, there are just so many Roaches. And we spoke about this. We spoke about how accessible these bases are because of this center entrance. And with that, Cham has done it. Cham, he breaks the 3rd base. ShoWTimE, he's zoned away. He's going to lose the mineral line. And Cham, he's doing it. He is doing it here. Again, 3 base all in. Cham, he hasn't droned in minutes. He called out the Stalkers. Came in for a surround. Kills the expansion. And again, these Roach all-ins, they hit harder on Persephone. And Cham is backing up to just to regroup. He's still not droning, by the way. He's still not droning. He doesn't need to. We just commit. We just send it. And from here, breaks through the Stalkers. There are a couple of Immortals. A couple. They're just not popping up, but they're exposed. And Cham, he wants them. He wants the Immortals. He gets 1. I spoke too soon. There we go. He gets 1. He gets both Immortals. Now getting on top of the cannons. And GG gets called. Cham, he will take a 2-0 lead. And El Chamaco, he is 1 game away. He's 1 game away. 1 game away here from taking the entire series and knocking ShoWTimE out of the tournament. Oh boy. Una más, papi. Una más. 1 more game. And we'll see. We'll see if Cham can go all the way. Again, as I mentioned before, like game 1 was a really rough start just because again that was meant to be ShoWTimE's map. Now these other maps, these all-ins, they hit harder, they hit different, and this is where Cham can thrive. Oh boy. Depending on the vetoes. Oh, okay. Game 3 is going to be on Maganatha. Now, Maganatha is the largest map in the map pool. True, largest map, long rush distance by ground, but it's not as defendable as Tokamak. The bases on Maganatha are more spread out. They're more spread out. There are areas in between the bases as well where the aggressing player can kind of rotate between, and I would say it's more difficult for the defending player to keep up and to rotate between bases, especially if they don't know where the army is and where the army is coming from. So this can be more difficult for ShoWTimE. I'll be honest, we're expecting an all-in from Cham here on Maganatha of some kind. The rush distance by ground is longer, so that is going to be a factor. We have seen a lot of players embrace muta play on Maganatha because it's so large. They can enjoy mutas, they can dip in between the bases and pull their opponent apart. We'll see what Cham does kind of indulge in. We'll see. So we're now getting into that third game. Well, I could like zoom in on. There we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself. We have the German Protoss representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. Currently down in the series, down 0-2. The pressure is on. Pressure is on, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, we have the Mexican Zerg representing Xeratus Esports. It is Cham. Go. Go. As we are going to be settling in to our next game. So far, we do have a Hashgas Pool standard opener out of Cham. Likewise, ShoWTimE going for his own standard opener as well. Once again, we're expecting more of the same. Coming into this, we're expecting ShoWTimE to go for a standard opener into a standard mid game, and we're expecting Cham to go for an all-in of some kind. I say that, but as I was mentioning before, we're going for delayed gases. Okay, slightly delayed gases here for Cham. But as we were mentioning before, there are certain kind of tech structures and tech paths that are more viable here on Maganatha. One such tech path is Mutaplay. As we were mentioning, going into Aspire, going into Mutas is more viable here on Maganatha because of how large the map is. You can get across the map and you have kind of less, there's kind of less time, or there's more time that you have to react and to respond to an opponent going for a counterattack to try to punish you. Likewise, the bases are spread out, so it's more difficult for the defending player to rotate between their bases and to defend their third, their fourth, their natural, their main base as well. So something like Mutaplay, something like Swarm Host play as well. True, that's also very niche, but also is accessible here. Doing it for Knight as Swarm Host also for the same reason. Does Cham play standard? No shot. Like, no shot, he plays like tech heavy and plays greedy. That's typically not his MO. Not what he's known for. Oh, there's a keyboard on the M. Oh, let's go. Again, shout out to Comeback TV. Big shout out to Comeback TV. All the work they've done for making this event a reality. To the people as well, to the crowdfunding. There was a big crowdfunding initiative. And to Comeback TV, they got a lot of support for this event. So much support. ShoWTimE dips in. Again, going double adept. So that's taking one shot drones. Last game, ShoWTimE, he had a decent start, killing quite a decent amount of workers as well. Another one. Oh, we can rotate. Yeah, that's a little good, actually. Sorry, just rotate the cameras so that makes a little bit more sense as to where they are in game. As I say, once again poke in, they do get one drone shading into the main base. Drone's getting caught out. Nice movement. Yeah, nice damage so far. 4 drone kills. The Oracle does take a lot of hits, but as they keep going in, going further, getting 6, getting up to 7. Oh my god. Barely not. But 6 drone kills for 2 adepts is worth it. It's worth it here for ShoWTimE. He does trade well. Behind this, getting his third base up and running. As the Oracle is called out. The Oracle does go down, but no spores. Oh, Cham is getting punished here. Yeah, no spore at the natural. That should not have happened. Cham is cutting corners. He will not get the second. Oracle barely does survive. ShoWTimE gets out. Lair first out of Cham. But Cham is taking a lot of economic damage. That is going to slow Cham down. Cham is slowing down. ShoWTimE, he moves out with more adepts. ShoWTimE has momentum. Cham, he's in danger. Cham, he is in danger here. Let's say do rotate over towards third base. Cham this time does react in time. Catching out some of the adepts, not bad. Couple of the adepts do fall. We spoke earlier about the faster lair, so just like game one, this is the same build. Same build as game one. So faster lair into +1 range, into Hydras, into what should be a lair-based all-in. Just a lair-based all-in, but we're losing too many drones. Another 6 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. Lings, they counterattack, but last ShoWTimE, he's ready back at home, and Cham, he's just falling apart to the harass. This is game-winning damage. Oh, this is critical damage, I should say. 9 drone kills. 10. He's gonna keep going. Late reaction with the Lings. Yeah, late reaction, 11 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. That is 23 drone kills in total. This is critical damage. Cham, I mean, he was gonna go all in anyway, but even if you're going for an all in, drones do matter because this will delay. This will delay the all in. This does delay the Hydra production, the tech, the upgrades. It delays everything. Cham has to re-drone. Now, the one chance that Cham has, the one opportunity, is if ShoWTimE makes mistakes. If ShoWTimE is overly aggressive, if ShoWTimE, if he's, overly aggressive, if he doesn't set up correctly defensively back at home, there are some opportunities for Cham. But he is quite heavily reliant here on ShoWTimE making mistakes. ShoWTimE breaks in, pulls away. Away from here, ShoWTimE claiming his 4th base. Now, we spoke about this on the previous map as we were comparing Persephone to Tokamak. Same here, where we have the 3rd base, we have the 4th base, we have multiple entrances to the 4th, we only have 1 ramp to the 3rd, but we also have this area in between the 3rd and 4th expansion that can also be accessible by the aggressing player. So Cham, he has options with how he wants to be aggressive. We know that Cham is going for the all-in, but again, ShoWTimE has more time to react, more time to respond, more time to set up. Cannons, shield batteries, ShoWTimE, he has to defend, and he has been struggling to be defensive so far in this series, but coming into game 3, because of all this economic damage, he has more freedom, he has more leeway. So ShoWTimE, he's probably in the best place he has been the entire series. Things are looking better and better here for ShoWTimE. Meanwhile, Cham, again, he's going for his lair-based all-in. No gases at the 4th, of course, so he's only on 6 gases. Remember, Cham, he has no intention of taking up into lurkers. He can if he fails to, if the all-in fails. We saw it in game 1, of course, where he eventually had to get into lurkers. This is very Hydra heavy. Cham is maxed. Oh, he's only up 30 supply. Remember in game 1, he was up 60 to 70 supply. And that's how he was able to, I mean, he didn't even take those fights, if you recall. Yeah, good, he cannot fight this. Yeah, Cham, he's down in supply. Army breaks out, storms are coming in. And Cham cannot fight into Storm. Now we have the Fleet Beacon, Stargate, Cham throws out the Spire. Cham, it looks like he's taking gases. He knows. Cham, he knows that he cannot succeed with this all in. It's not going to work. Cham is taking and droning. Cham is droning up. ShoWTimE has momentum. Now, ShoWTimE, he has options. He can either try to kill Cham here and now, or just be more defensive and get into Sky Toss. Because there are no lurkers, and there will never be lurkers, ShoWTimE can just fight. He just engaged with storms, of course. He does need those storms. Cham trying to engage the storms. They do connect. Oof, yeah, the storms, they will blanket everything. The Hydras, the Ling Bane. Again, Cham, he should not be able to hold on. He does force out some Archons, so the base goes down. Expansion does full. We have reinforcements coming in. Lings, they come in from behind as well. Cham, he will clean this up. Not bad. He surrounds the Stalkers, takes down the Archons. Cham, with reinforcements, he does reset the army. And the base didn't really matter that much. ShoWTimE. Have we ever extended? The answer is yes. Does ever extend. Pulls back and he's slowly building up those Tempests. So on the one hand, Cham, he kind of has an opportunity. I say kind of, again, Cham, as the game goes on, he's being outscaled, right? The longer this game goes on, the better it is for ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE just has to survive. Nice knife. Maestros out. Still run by dealt with, and now we have the infestation bit. 12-minute infestation bit. It's very late. Very late for Cham. He's got 8 mutas on the way. It's a bit of a Hail Mary play, but sure. GG. GG gets called. I mean, the writing has been on the wall for the past like 5 or so minutes. Again, it was just a really rough start. Winding it back. Remember what happens. ShoWTimE killed 23 drones in the before any kind of major fights, major escalation. 23 drones went down. Cham, he was cutting corners, he was skipping spores, he was counterattacking with Zerglings, he was caught out of position. Cham, he just had a really, really rough start to that game. As we mentioned, ShoWTimE had the best start to that game out of any game so far in the series, and ShoWTimE took a lead and snowballed out of control. GG well played. Again, 23 drone kills, that is game-ending damage, and we saw that Cham could not recover from that. He could not even all-in from that either. So with that, we're going to be going on a 5-minute break. We're going to be going on a 5-minute break, and when we return, we will have the remainder of the series. We're going to have the rest of the series here between Cham and ShoWTimE. So we'll see you soon. We'll see you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Maestros of the game, day number 1. for a series of the preliminary stage. I'm of course ShoWTimE VIP, and with me I'm joined by these amazing players. We are jumping in mid-series. Again, we have just wrapped up the first 3 games so far, and we have begun the comeback here. Cham took a 2-0 lead, but ShoWTimE is finally able to fight back, puts a point on the board, and now we're jumping into game number 4. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player with the blue Zerg himself from Atlanta, Mexico, representing Xeritus Esports. It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player with red Protoss himself, the German Protoss representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. This room is so dark. And here we go. We're jumping into our game, and welcome one all. It's been so long since we've been to Gressvan of all maps. Okay, this is an interesting one. Now, I have to eat some of my own words. If you remember, I was really concerned for ShoWTimE in this series after what happened in Game 1, because Game 1 was meant to be ShoWTimE's map. We spoke about it. Tokamak is the most defensive map in the current ladder map pool. True. But I'd forgotten that, hey, for Masters of the game, we have a custom map pool. We have some of the ladder maps, true, we do have some of those ladder maps, but we also are featuring some of the older maps from years gone by, maps like Gressvan. Gressvan, it's been quite some time. I want to say Gressvan was around, well, back in 2022? Like 2022 going into 2023 era of StarCraft. It's been a couple of years. Since Gressvan has been in the map pool, and Gressvan back in its day, back when it was in the ladder map pool, was the most defensive, the most turtle, the most macro map out there. So hey, with this now in the tournament map pool with ShoWTimE playing on Gressvan, I do want to favor ShoWTimE here when it comes to being able to defend and survive Cham's aggression. Now coming into this, it's been a while. Longer rush distance by ground. We have our third base, which has a high ground going into it. There are 2 entrances into the third base, that is true, but here on the right hand side we don't really have a way in between the third, the fourth, and the natural. In a way there kind of is, but for the most part it is easy to rotate between the bases. The bases themselves are closer to each other, the 4-base setup, and we have seen a lot of late game on Gressvan. Hour-plus long games were the norm back in the day. We saw quite a lot, and we could even see that again. I mean, depending on the players, of course. Cham, we expect him to be hyper-aggressive. We'll see what build he goes for this time. Now, last game we saw Cham went lair first. He went lair first, delayed Evo Chamber into +1 range, into Ling Hydra, but he bled out so many workers in the lead up to that. Cham has to tighten up. He has to tighten up. We cannot lose 23 drones to harass. Like, we cannot let that happen. Again, that was 23 drones to Adept and Oracle harass. Like, that was game ending. Not again, Pappy, not again. We gotta tighten up. I know that Cham, he wants to be greedy. He wants to, you know, skip spores and just be as efficient as possible. But it's so difficult to get away with that at this level of play. But say move in. They pick up a couple of Zerglings. Get a few Zerglings from here. No major economic damage done yet. The Oracle has arrived. Once again, Stargate opener into the Oracle. Once again, we're just expecting the same build. We've seen it 3 games in a row so far. 3 games in a row. Once again, we're expecting a third base into a Forge, Twilight Council +1 and Blink into the mid game. As ShoWTimE does commit. Yeah, it does commit in. He gets 1 drone so far. He gets 2. Yeah, 2 drones go down. 3 drones even. 4 drone kills. As the Oracle goes into the main base, 6 drone kills as well. Once again, Cham is skipping spores. No spore in the main, no spore at the natural. We saw this last game. This is why so much damage was being dealt, because Cham is deciding to cut corners. He's saying, I want to be efficient. I want to preserve the drones that will be morphed into spores and keep them alive and keep them mining. And that's all well and good if we can preserve the workers. And here we go, spores are on the way. Yeah, spores are on the way, so Cham looks like he has recognized that he needs to respect ShoWTimE. Needs to respect him, needs to get ready. As the Depths are moving out. see what ShoWTimE can get done. Diving on the queens. The first queen taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. Second queen as well. Queens have to retreat. They're getting low. Yeah, very, very low here. No transfuse. One queen does go down. It's one queen. Drones are not being pulled away. And ShoWTimE shades into the main. Oh, shades into the main base. Gets another couple of drones. 6 drones going down. 7 drones go down. Cham doesn't pull away. That is 13 kills in total. This is a lot of damage. Not as much as last game, true, but still quite a lot. And now we have a late lair. Yeah, lair is delayed. Eva Chamber, Ro24. Basically, all this tech is late because Cham was hyperfixated on trying to defend. He still takes a lot of losses, and his tech is delayed. So a shaky start for Cham. I see Footagent in the chat. How did Cham beat ShoWTimE? If you haven't been watching StarCraft as of late, Cham has been getting some really, really good results. If you didn't watch the last season of RSL, for example, Cham, he beat Shin, he beat Solar, he popped off in ZVZ. It was insane to see Cham in that scenario, even having some good showings against, I want to say Serral. Did he play against Serral as well? For some reason that's in my mind. Not just that, but Cham is also doing really well in the OSC mid-season playoffs, also taking down some big names in that event as well. So in recent times, Cham has been excelling. Again, if you haven't been watching, you know, RSL or OSC or some of these other tournaments, you might not be aware, might not be familiar. I still do favor ShoWTimE against Cham, don't get me wrong, but Cham, he has been, again, improving as a player in recent times. Buenas tardes, family. Buenas tardes. Son las 3 de la mañana, papi. Son las 3. Ay, ay, ay. ShoWTimE is moving in. We'll be able to deny, or at least looking to deny the 5th base. Base taking a lot of damage. Is denied. Cham, he droned up quite heavily here, droning up to 80. Oh my god. And from here, he's going to Lingbane Roach Ravager. A bit of a more classic composition. Once again, very lair tech heavy. Cham's trying to hold on. ShoWTimE taking into Storm. Storm is almost done. Likewise, so far, ShoWTimE has been trading well. Picking off bases, picking off roaches. Oracles they do dip in between. Okay, the 3rd. Once again, they're taking a lot of damage. Taking a lot of hits. That Cham, oh my god. Barely does notice stasis, barely. And Chammy's committing. Again, Chammy's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out on purely Lingbane Roach Ravager. Now, this army that Cham is maxing out on, it does not scale well into a longer game. Once again, the soup does lie. Cham's army supply is very inefficient, so that's why it's as large as it is. Depending on the storms, can ShoWTimE defend? First storm does land. Nice for Storm. Likewise on the Lingbane as well. Yeah, most of the Lingbane getting caught out. Bailey's that make their way towards the high temple. They don't make it through. And ShoWTimE holds. ShoWTimE, he does hold on. Holds, he defends, he punishes the roaches, and the longer this game goes on, the worse it is for Cham. Cham, he has to break through. He backs off, he rebuilds, he's regrouping. Doesn't get into the mineral line. Does not get in. And ShoWTimE, he still has plenty of storms. And again, it's just one choke point, one way in. Oh, ShoWTimE not paying attention. Neither were we. 19 drone kills. Okay, 19 probes. Shammy gets the mineral line. Shammy's in this. He is in this here. Catching ShoWTimE off guard. Another bailing run by. This time we're paying attention. Cham setting up for a flank. That's set up. Range rolling in. Shammy attacks at the same time, going for that Templar. Templar exposed. Oh, nice stasis. Stasis traps are going to be going up. At the same time, Bailey's they don't make it through. This time there are Archons. This time ShoWTimE heals ready. The Archons do defend. Storms connect. Stasis trap. They deny the Link Bane. ShoWTimE is holding. He's holding. He has a death bull of an army. Soon he can just A-move. Like this, Jesus. It's a lot of Archons. A lot of Archons, a lot of Storm. We spoke about it. Cham's army does not scale well. Doesn't scale well. And ShoWTimE can soon just counterattack. And remember, there are no lurkers. There's no hive tech. Spire is on the way. Moving in. ShoWTimE is maxed. Even without Storm, ShoWTimE can take this fight. I'll be honest. Storm's gonna be the cherry on top here for ShoWTimE, as he's looking to force the ace match. Ay, ay, ay. From here, ShoWTimE does move in. There's just not really much here for Cham. Storms, they shut down some of the Bailings. More Bailings have arrived. Doesn't want to waste those Storms, but still has plenty to work with. He has stasis traps as well. Shammy's trying to engage. Going for a counterattack. Likewise, Mutas, they get into the main. Mutas into main. Bailey's, they do get into the mineral line. Probes are going down. Oh, Bailey's, they barely don't make it through. The High Templar, they're so low. One High Templar goes down. He gets one, he gets two, he gets three. Three High Templar do fall. We get some okay pickoffs here from Cham. Cham, he gets 25 probes. Mutas, they're still popping off. Okay. Oh, but now we have carriers. Carriers have arrived. ShoWTimE losing 29 probes. That's quite impactful here. That's not insignificant. Okay. Esther Cham. Cham, he cripples the economy. Behind this is still an 80 workers. Cham can rebuild, remax. It's still a very low tier army, but you can make some magic happen. Corruptors are on the way. Hive is still in production. He can morph in some lair tech lurkers, which will not be ideal, but it's better than nothing. Jesus, like, this army is still terrifying. Cham, he may just have to give up the base. Just give up the expansion, expand elsewhere. Mutas counterattack. They get to the natural. Lurkers in position. But the lurkers are exposed and they're going down. Yeah, 1, 2 lurkers falling. And Archons, they break through. Cham does get the carrier, but it may not matter. Oh no, the Germans! No! They rally in. They rally into the army, and Cham, he has no support. GG gets called as he is out of army, and ShoWTimE will tab the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Ooh, GG, well played. Once again, ShoWTimE had a stronger early game. He killed 13 workers. 13 drones went down. Not just that, we spoke about it, but Gressfan is also known for more defensive play, for turtling up, to forcing these longer games, and ShoWTimE he was able to defend well enough. He did lose a lot of workers throughout the course of the game, that is true, but by the time he was losing workers, it didn't really matter as much. It's not as impactful. I should emphasize that as well, that when it comes to worker damage or economic damage, it matters more the earlier it is, because you have less economy overall, and you have less to work with. So, again, it does kind of fall off over time. It's a little bit less meaningful, less impactful, killing workers as the game progresses. And with that, Cham, he was outscaled, bearing in mind that he was very all-in, right? He had no further upgrades, he had no further tech. He had lair tech lurkers to defend, which is which is not ideal. And with that, we're getting into the ace match. Getting into the ace match, getting into the final game. As game 5 is going to be on Incorporeal, okay. Have our map of choice. And we've still got plenty more matches ahead of us, of course. Plenty more. Here we go. Here we go. As Incorporeal is going to be an interesting one. It's another one of these larger maps, and we'll get into some of the features here, as we have seen a lot of Zerg players struggle on Incorporeal, at least in certain kind of game states and certain kind of scenarios. We'll get into it. For now, let's jump in. Let us jump in. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the Mexican Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Exerius Gaming. He had a really strong start to the series, but now he's been forced to the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. Go. So getting into our ace match here, the final game of the series. Oh boy, and welcome to Incorporeal. Now, Incorporeal is an interesting map. It is a large map, true, long rush distance by grounds, and there are a lot of bases to take as well. But there are some unique features here. One, there are these ramps that come into the third base, that come in between the bases as well. If you can keep up the rotations of your opponents, you can defend these locations quite nicely. You can even knock down this tower to just choke up this entrance, to choke up this ramp, and make it more difficult for your opponent to push in. So you can be quite defensive here. Likewise, the bases are relatively spread out. Getting a fourth base, getting a fifth, a sixth, a seventh expansion can be quite difficult. Until we get to that ultra late game, we can slow the game down, we can cut the map in half. These center bases can be very difficult to hold on to as a Zerg player. We've seen many a Zerg player, if they're forced into the late game on Incorporeal, struggle and fail to defend these center bases just because of the terrain. As you can imagine, if the Protoss takes one center base, then with Skytoss, especially with Tempest, they can shell away at your opponent's expansion from the other side of this terrain, of these cliff faces, of this Zelnaga tower, where you can't really engage, and this area can be quite abusable. We often do see Protoss players taking both center bases as a result, and then they just snowball out of control. But that's only if we get to the late game. From what we've seen from Cham, if the game ever goes on any longer, it's because he's forced to, not because he wants to. So Cham, he's here to end the game early. Speaking of ending it early, ShoWTimE has been getting better and better and more early economic damage. With the Adepts, with the Oracles, he's been punishing Cham. Cham, we got to tighten up. We got to tighten up that early game defense, as it's been a big weak point here for Cham. Been a big weak point, as he's been falling behind quite early the past couple of games. Let's go. We need some clean defense back. As Cham pulls out of gas, gets into link speed. We'll see if he goes for a Ro24, if he goes for early lair, if he goes for an early Evo chamber. So we have the 3 Adept hit squad. Head towards the third base, no drones to kill. Lings, they come in for the attempted surround. Nice position here from ShoWTimE. Despite that, we'll still lose 1, lose 2 Adepts. So let's go down. Meanwhile, no Spore in the main. Wings, they hold their own. Very nice. And Cham this time is being very attentive. Zones away the Oracle. The Oracle takes a lot of hits, a lot of damage. And so far, Cham, he's having a better defense. So far, so good. So the Oracle does move out. Cham, he hits the third base. Where are the Adepts? Adepts not here. Pylon is gonna go down. Oh, Cham pulls away too soon. Pulls away a little bit too soon. Pylon does survive. Queen's out of position. The drones are falling. More drone kills. Lings, they wrap back around, and they should kill the pilot. The god doesn't quite get the pilot. Pilot survives. ShoWTimE, he has a mass uploads Adepts. Behind this, standard follow, +1. Sorry, Forge. Twilight Council, +1 to Blink. 4 Adepts are moving in. Triple Oracle also being active. So third, Spore is ready. And by this point last game, there were already 13 drone kills. Here, only 6. Still damage, but nowhere near as much as we've seen previously in this series. Oh, and we are rushing into a Spire. Okay. So lair into Spire play. The Oracles say, oh, get him into the bases, and they barely do not scout. They barely don't see. Also, melee's on the way. Ro24 is just for safety. Bayless as well. All the gas being saved up here for the meters. Things they move out for a counterattack. This also means that Cham is vulnerable. Okay, they get 2 probe kills. Away. He's being turned away. ShoWTimE is pushing. Blink is almost done. +1 is almost done. So strong timing here from ShoWTimE. Wants the expansion, wants the 4th. Stasis is also baited out. The Lings, they still cannot engage. Okay, moving in. The Oracle's a punish. The hatchery is going to go down. Nice pick up here from ShoWTimE. Very nice. Does leave a couple units behind, but overall, does get damage done. And Cham, he's got his muted production. Remember, they unscouted.
Let our enemy know.
So far, completely unscouted. Mutas are getting across the map, and what is it to defend? The Stalkers are otherwise distracted. There we go, Stalkers are distracted. Lings they pull away. Mutas they hit the third base, not bad. 5 probes so far. 5 probes go down. They rotate over into the natural at the same time. Lings they do hit the third. They're coming in for the surround. But they shouldn't kill the expansion. And ShoWTimE defense. ShoWTimE, he does hold on. That's still going to be 17 probe kills. Decent damage by Cham. That was 4 mutas for 17 probes. Oh. Behind this is making more mutas. Going muta Ling Bane. I'm assuming Ling Bane, as he still has no Baneling speed. Ooh, as he does catch out the Oracles. Oh my god. Yeah, miscontrol there by ShoWTimE. Did leave the Oracles idle. Let's lose all 3. Phoenix production has finally begun. So far, 2 Phoenixes. Cham still has a lot of potential with these mutas. Still has potential. And there are ways into these mineral lines. Phoenix is getting caught out. Oh, but the mutas they do stand and fight. They take down the expansion. That was 6 mutas falling. That was expensive. He does get the base. Cham maintaining a better economy. And ShoWTimE is down to 3 bases. Long distance mining. Cham is still looking for a way in. Oh. Doesn't quite make it through. Do we have any more Phoenixes? So far 5. 5 Phoenixes. No Phoenix range. Plus 1 air attack is on the way. Now, this is getting out of hand. Cham, the mutas, they initially did some damage, but mutas, they're so momentum based. You need to get damage and then keep doing damage and just keep on finding more probe kills, more economic damage, more key pickoffs when it comes to High Templar or Archons. If ShoWTimE is allowed to max out like this, then ShoWTimE he can soon push. And mutas, they're not a defensive unit. They're not built to defend, they're built to harass. If ShoWTimE does move out, I don't think Cham can stop him. At that point, Cham would have to base trade. Yes, on the zone. Does take 1 massive storm to the face. Oh god, no! He has to get out of here. So many mutas going down. That's 11 muta kills. Expensive losses for Cham. And we gotta get ready for Ultras. We gotta get ready for something else here. Hive has just begun, so late Hive. ShoWTimE now taking him with the Sky Toss. Or even just Annual Pulse Crystals. Oh god. As Cham does take the storms. Oh no! He takes them to the face and the army plummets in supply. Does take every storm to the face. You can see ShoWTimE, he takes what, a 50 supply lead, and now it's just time to send it. And to send it here. As you mentioned, Cham's army is so fragile. It's built to harass. It's not built to fight. He's not built to fight. GG gets called as ShoWTimE snowballs out of control, and ShoWTimE, he will take the series 3-2, advancing on into the main event. GG. Whew, GG, well, there's so much emotion. GG, well played. Congratulations here to ShoWTimE as he does claim the series, does take the 3-2. My condolences to Cham. Cham, he had a really strong start to the series, and again, I don't mind how you played out this game 5. Going into Mutas was finding some damage, he got a mineral line, but as you mentioned, he had to find more damage. He had to find so much more, because if he didn't, then ShoWTimE could just build up a superior force. Again, like, Mutas are not built to fight, they're not built to go for these head-on engagements. They're built to harass, they're built to counterattack, deny drop play, you know, pick off key units. Didn't quite get there though. Wasn't quite able to pull that off, wasn't able to achieve that. In the end, ShoWTimE did snowball, and with that, congratulations, ShoWTimE, he will make it through, our first player to advance on into the next round. GG. Into the group stage, I should say. So he does advance on into the group stage. Meanwhile, Cham is out of the tournament. And we have some catching up to do. Okay, so we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, what will we have? We will have our next series. We have Gumiho and Ryung. They're going to be facing off in the next round of the next series over on the Korean server in a Terran versus Terran matchup. We'll see you soon after the break. We'll see you soon. Bye. See you soon.